If you've ever seen the landscape format images on Instagram where you swipe across and you see the whole image that's made up of two portrait format images and wondered how it's done, fear not, because that's exactly what we're going to look at achieving today. So here I have a landscape shot and the subject and the focal point is in the center of the image. So what we have here when we cut this image in two is an image that isn't going to work as a kind of placeholder for the swipe. So for some images, if you've got enough interest on the left-hand side, you can use that as the start image. But if you have one like this, where it doesn't work, if you happen to have an upright version, it's worth using that as the placeholder image and then having your swipe running after that so that viewers can then see a larger alternative version of the same shot. So what I would do with this image here is just resize it so that it's 1000 pixels high. I could, of course, crop it to a 5:4 format so that it fits the upright dimensions of Instagram perfectly, but there's no point because it takes longer to do that in Photoshop than it does to just crop it once it's uploaded into Instagram. So let's assume that that has been resized and I've exported it and it's ready to go. So let's get to work with the landscape version. So what we need to do here is just click on the crop tool, and then if you just hold the left mouse button down, we need to go to the slice tool. And then once that's open, just drag the slice over the whole image and you'll see that you get this blue icon in the corner. We're not quite there yet. There's something else that we need to do. So just right mouse click on the image and go down to divide slice. And what we want to do is divide the slice vertically. So we'll check that box there, into two slices across, evenly spaced. And there we can see how the image will be sliced. So all that we need to do now is hit OK, and the image is essentially sliced. But we have to do something slightly differently to get those images out of Photoshop. And that is simply save for web. So rather than saving the image as we would normally using save as, we'll just use the save for web dialog. And to access that, we just need to hold down Control, Shift, Alt, and S. On a Mac, that would be Command, Option, Shift, and S. And that brings up the save for web dialog. So just make sure that the quality is set to 70, progressive is checked, and embed color profile is also checked. Just make sure that convert to sRGB is also checked, because if your image is in Adobe 1998, it could look washed out when it's uploaded. So making sure it's sRGB works perfectly. So now we can adjust the size of the height. So just like I mentioned before with that upright image, we'll just set that to 1000 pixels. We are going to get some cropping when we add this into Instagram. We could export these images as slices, then bring them back into Photoshop, crop them down to a 5:4 format, and then we wouldn't have any cropping in Instagram. So that is always an option, but I typically just export them as full uprights and then just open them up in the way that I'll show you in a moment. So once that's all done, just hit the save button and that will bring up the save dialog. So I'm just going to leave it set to Instagram swipe. Then when I hit save, that will save them into a folder on my desktop, and the folder will be called images. And then once I have my upright and my left and right swipe images, I will email them to myself, download them onto my phone, and then upload them to Instagram. So let's get them saved, and then I'll show you how you then open them up into Instagram so that you can post them. Download your images to your phone and then open the Instagram app and click on the plus symbol to create a new post. And then just go to your download folder where you'll find your images. So here is the upright image that's being cropped, and then just click on the icon with several squares, and then you can click on the images in the order that they need to appear. That creates the first image and then the swipe. Click on the blue arrow and you can add all the information as usual.